You killed her!
Vincent?
This is me in my day job, playing the role of Private Detective Vincent in the ITV1 drama.
He's in the loft and he's invited me up.
But that's acting. Now I'm on the trail of a real-life case. It's all about the terrible consequences of a dispute between two groups of young men in East London.
In October 2004, a fight occurred here, involving a lot of kids from the estates in the surrounding area. A 21-year-old man was killed, and 2 men were later convicted for his murder.
The victim was 21-year-old Asias Kasahun, a shy and happy man who was training to become a chef. His brother and foster parents were devastated at his death. Asias died after trying to help a friend who was being attacked by a gang of youths on October 11th, 2004.
2 days earlier, there had been a most trivial incident where one boy had apparently looked at another boy in a disrespectful way. And from that little trivial incident, the boy who thought that he'd been disrespected got together with a group of his friends, and they lay in wait for the boy who'd looked at him a couple of nights later.
The group of friends were from the Oxton area, and their target was a 19-year-old from the Whitecross area. There was no racial element to this incident, but for years there had been disputes between young people from the two neighbouring areas. The group from Oxton that gathered that night were wearing hoods, making it difficult for witnesses to identify who was present, but several were seen carrying baseball bats and others knives. As they moved from Oxton to Whitecross, they were joined by many others, curious to know what was going on.
Me and my friend walked down to where the crossroads is, looked down towards Bath Street, and we see like 40 people down there. So we've walked down there because we noticed a few people that we knew down there. So we've walked down there, and then we see it all kicking off like.
At around 8:30 that evening, the target from Whitecross met up with some friends, including Asias Kasahun. He walked towards Bath Street and found the Oxton group lying in wait for him.
Hey, come here, man!
Guys come around the corner, some other boys walked up to punch him. He swung for him. The boy that's come around the corner has ducked the punch and punched the other guy. The guys fell on the floor. And then a couple, like 4 or 5 other people's run in to try and beat the guy up that's come around the corner. And he's fought a couple of them off. And then his friend come in, the guy that died, he come in to try and help his friend fight them off. Like.
When he saw his friend attacked, Asias went to his assistance, and for his pains, he was beaten to the ground, and he was then hit with an implement that was either a knife or a baseball bat with a sharpened screw protruding from one end, and that penetrated his skull, and that caused a fatal injury from which he died.
7 men were charged with the crime, and 2 were eventually convicted. One was Bulabek Ringbyon. At court, one witness told how they'd seen him with a blood-stained knife, another that he admitted responsibility. The other was Sam Hallam. He was convicted after 2 witnesses claimed they saw him in the general melee.
I first became aware of Sam when my nephew was telling me all about him, and my sister, who know the family really well, were talking about this kid who's been nicked for murder. And they telling me how innocent Sam was, and there was no evidence. And I guess you think at the back of your mind, you know, well, there's no smoke without fire. You know, he might have been there. He might have been involved in it in some way.
But there were no forensics to link Sam with a crime, and no CCTV evidence of him even being in the area. Now, my 20-year-old nephew, Bobby, is best friends with Sam. He's convinced Sam is innocent and that he has suffered a miscarriage of justice.
You tell me a little bit about Sam.
Well, as you know, he's my best mate, and what can I say about him? Nice geezer, help anyone, do anything for anyone.
Yeah.
Definitely, I can't believe what's happening, how they picked him out.
What was he like when he was out, when there was a fight or anything? I mean, boys do get in the fights and get in the scrapes and all that.
Nothing, not a troublemaker, nothing like that.
There were just 2 people who placed Sam at the murder. Many others who saw the fight told the police that Sam wasn't present. but they weren't all called to the trial to give evidence. Since the trial, more new witnesses have come forward to say they saw the murder and that Sam was not there.
You'd have seen, like, the people that were actually doing the act?
Yeah.
Yeah, and was any of these Sam?
No, none of these boys was Sam.
And you knew Sam?
Yeah, I knew Sam.
You know Sam, yeah?
Yeah, I know Sam, and if he would have been there, I would have definitely 100% seen him. No,
okay.
There's no chance I would have missed him.
I got you, yeah. You know Sam Hallam?
Yeah.
Was Sam Hallam there?
No.
Sam Hallam there? Was Sam Hallam there?
No.
And how long have you known Sam for?
I've known Sam for 5 years, 5 to 6 years.
Right.
We went to the same secondary school together.
And was Sam Hallam there?
Sam on the night?
Yeah.
100% no.
100% no. Now, I've got to ask you this. There is a kid that's been killed here this night,
Yeah, of course.
and don't deserve to be dead, you know? So, even if your mate had done something like that, it's very hard to come out and say...
But it's not in his nature,
Okay.
really. Like, as from the 5 years I've known him, like, he weren't really that type of person, like, to be a bad boy and that. There was a lot of boys that went to the school, they carried, like, weapons with them around. Like, Sam weren't really of that nature.
The prosecution case against Sam relied on the word of 2 young people who said he was there. The first witness was a friend of the victim, who was 17 at the time. She had seen a black man hit the victim with a baseball bat, and immediately after told the police the names of 4 people who she thought were involved. Although they vaguely knew each other at that stage, she did not name Sam Hallam. She then heard a rumour that someone called Sam was involved in the fight, and 2 days later, just after she received a phone call to say that Asias had passed away, she saw Sam in the street.
She was walking in a nearby street with a friend of hers, and Sam Hallam happened to walk in the opposite direction. And this girl had been speaking to her friend and had been telling her about what had happened 2 days before and how people were suggesting that somebody called Sam might have been involved. And her friend then said, well, that's Sam Hallam. And they accused Sam in the street. He denied it. But the first girl then made a statement to the police saying that she recognised Sam as somebody that she had seen walking away from the actual fight.
We were outside the off-licence when a boy walked past me. I immediately recognised him as one of the boys who attacked Asias.
But in court, the witness agreed with the proposition that it might not have been Sam, but someone who looked like him.
Once she had said to me in cross-examination that I can't say I'm sure it was Sam Hallam, the prosecution naturally re-examined her about that, and she said, well, I did believe when I saw the boy 2 days later that he had been the same boy that I'd seen in the street on the 11th. But then she added these strange words, I suppose I was just looking for someone to blame on the spot, really.
The second witness to name Sam was also a friend of the victim. In his first interview, he described a white boy on a BMX bike who pulled out a baseball bat with a protruding screw. He said he couldn't see the boy's face because the hood of a Gap top he was wearing was pulled tightly around his face. He said all he knew was the boy had blondish hair. But days later he spoke to the female witness who told him that Sam Hallam was the boy at the fight. He then made a second statement to the police identifying the boy on the bike as Sam Hallam.
As soon as I was reminded of the boy's name, I knew the boy with the baseball bat as Sam Hallam.
Whereas the first witness had placed Sam at being at the fight, this witness now placed Sam as virtually standing over the victim with a baseball bat in his hand. In court, though, this witness tried to go back on their second statement.
In evidence, right from a word go, he tried to distance himself from that second statement, and he explained that he'd been upset when he'd made that statement because his friend had just died and because he'd just been given this name by the girl, but he maintained throughout, whether he was being questioned by me or questioned by the prosecution, I did not see their face. The boy was wearing a hood, the hood was tightly done up, and he demonstrated tightly done up round the face so that he couldn't see the face at all.
What's important in my mind is what evidence was not found. I mean, there was no forensics, there's no CCTV. There's nothing saying that Sam Hallam didn't own
a silver BMX bike during or before or after the murder. In fact, at the time, he didn't own a bike at all. The evidence of this gap top that the boy on the silver BMX bike was wearing, the gap top, nothing like this was ever found in Sam's possession.